Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening. This is Dr. Rao Kulusu coming up on my evening room, 6 o'clock. Uh, as usual, we're going to be talking on uh, burnout, and especially when it comes to fitness, lots of times people don't have the time or don't have the motivation or just yield to that body being, not wanting to do exercise, right? So I always train people about uh, doing exercise while they are working. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, everyone.
So it's a important thing to consider because if you are functional and then you're lifting things, you're bending for things, you're reaching out for things, and you're walking, you're taking steps, and all those things are really important. See, so like everyday abilities, just the ability to perform anything, everyday activities and tasks more efficiently and safely, right? The movements are squatting, lifting, pushing, pulling, and twisting. You see, the goal is to enhance overall strength, flexibility, balance, and coordination. So, to maintain a higher level of physical capability for daily life and possibly preventing injuries also. So, this is the functional fitness I was talking about. And there are several things about the functional fitness you got to understand, the compound movements and balance and stability training and functional movements themselves and the body weight exercises, and you do them with your body core strength, and you can have functional equipment, so kettlebells, medicine balls, resistant bands, so called. And then you can vary the workouts too. And flexibility and mobility, that's separately, like a yoga, Pilates, and all. And then functional training classes. So there are so many things involved in this functional fitness. But generally, I tell them walk as much as you can, move the body, and take states, and then don't sit too long. Okay, that's practical enough. But some people want to understand more what they can do. So that's where I kind of point out the stretch bands, the simple weights, or even the water bottles can be used as weights, things like that. Okay, so that's what I want to focus on today. As the people come in, we will talk more about it. But then I'm going to talk about this topic for a few days, so there is no hurry going over all of them, as I mentioned. But then, once one by one, we will take measure of them and then deal with them. Okay, um, so that's where we are going to start. Okay, and Kristen, what do you think about the functional fitness?
I like I like this topic.
Yeah,
I think it's a good idea to focus on functional fitness because I think not only is it good for your body, but it's good for your mind as well.
yeah, yeah,
Because while you're exercising, you you need to concentrate on your breathing,
yeah,
and while you're concentrating on your breathing, it takes place of like other thoughts that you could be thinking,
yeah,
and you actually kind of like with some exercises you could even like running and stuff like that sometimes, or even like when I used to do surfing, like it puts you into a meditative state because you really have to focus on your breathing to maintain energy or endurance.
yeah,
And when you're doing that, you're kind of like in a way meditating and you're not distracted by other things.
Yeah.
But I think that also, like you were saying, like avoiding injuries.
Yeah.
I think it's important, but it's also important to like listen to your body and to be kind to your body. Yeah. Like you were teaching me, because sometimes in our mind we want to do more.
Yeah.
But our body is only willing to do what it's able to.
Yeah.
And when we're kind to our body's more cooperative, like you would say. And I just love how you explain things, Dr. L, because it's like you make it as simple as speaking to a child.
Yeah.
Like even a child could understand it. And I think that that's great that you're able to understand things with such a depth, but at the same time put things so simple that even the child could understand. So we're grateful for you, Dr. L.
Thank you, Kristen. Yeah, what I was saying to her is whenever you do any stretch or anything that you do, be attentive, be aware, be here and now. The same thing Kristen was talking about. When we are working, we'll be doing that. And also, if you can focus on the breathing, suppose we are climbing the stairs, and you can focus on climbing the stairs, each step one after another. That kind of awareness will be very good in the functional fitness mode. Alka, welcome to the room. I just started the room. I was talking to people about functional fitness as a means to get the exercise that they need every day. Lots of times people don't have the time to go to the gym or yoga studio or any exercise facility because they have to make special arrangements, special time, drive there. Highly motivated people, we don't have to do anything. But I was trying to get them to exercise and take care of their body better while they are working. So don't sit too long, but then use the things that you have, right? You can just put things away, or you can carry stuff around, or you can walk around. You can take the stairs, or you can get out of the chair and answer phone calls. Any number of ways we usually tell people to exercise that way. Hi, Alka. How are you?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good. So that's what we are going to focus for a few days, because this kind of having the exercise while we are at work is a very good thing, and also using our natural body weight and things that we can always um, make use of it, instead of separate exercise and all that. That will be very good too. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the room. So it's a kind of awareness thing rather than anything else. And so suppose you allow the body to sit and work for a long time. The stiffness that you have, the what we call tamas energy, that is the inertia that develops in the muscles and all that, actually that is the bane of the civilization, is creature comforts. We try to teach the body to be lazy, comfortable, and all. After a while, that becomes the norm, and body doesn't want to get away from that. The danger of that is it builds on itself, that inertia, and feeds on itself, and then it kind of really rapid, kind of intensifies the aging, kind of, So it kind of hastens the aging process. So instead of getting old and not able to move at 50 years, you may as well do it at 35 and 36 years if you are doing this prolonged sitting and not wanting to do anything, and also getting used to the comfort that we feel. Initially, it may be okay, but later on, it kind of affects your fitness level, your aerobic capacity, and your mobility and all that, right? So that's why we teach even the elderly people to get out of the chair and walk a little bit. Maybe you can use a cane, or you can use somebody's support. That's all okay. But then, if you don't allow the body to go the way of frailty, way of very, very weak, that kind of thing is happening quite often now. There was a class I was doing in my clinic one time, and there was this guy came, and then he wanted to learn some, yoga, and I thought, okay, I will see. He was a very young kid, okay, maybe 20s probably, So I told him, okay, this evening we are going to do come. He could not keep up with us. Of course, I'm much older than the group, but the other people are like maybe 30, 40 people, and this guy is the only one in the 20s. Well, he could not do with the much older people than him in the room. So I noticed that, and then later on, he came back for another visit or something. He wanted to talk to me. Then I asked them. They said, I never get out of the chair mostly in the day, and then when I go home, I just slump on the sofa and watch TV or play my video games and all that. That is the danger. That's what culture is breeding people, and then they are running pretty fast in their mind because they are working with all these apps and everything. But then they are not able to really maintain that fitness level that is needed to go around, right? It used to be people were walking, people were climbing hills, we were climbing trees, people were going after the animals to catch chickens, and all those things were very physical for them. I remember one documentary I was seeing in probably in 80s or 90s. This was my initiation into this kind of proactive wellness and all that, right? The documentary starts with this guy climbing straight up with this, in India or in other places, there are these tall trees at the end of which there are these coconuts, right? And he was climbing them. He has some thread and a rope around that, and he's climbing it. And then he climbs all the way up, and then he comes down. When you look at him, he is rippled with all the good muscles. All the musculature is pretty good. And then the introducer or commentator behind, he asked the question, what do you think the age of this guy? You know, Everybody thinks maybe he's a teenager or something. He's 66 and he's rippled with muscles because all day he climbs and comes down, and then he walks a lot, and that's the lifestyle that he has. I'm not saying we have to go back completely like that, but we are allowing too much of these creature comforts to make us feeble and age quickly. That's the warning I'm giving you. So if you don't allow or encourage inertia, that's the basically functional fitness is. And whatever you are doing, if you do walking and moving and reaching out and putting things and all that, that's functional fitness. Functional fitness. That's what I'm going to talk about. And then there are so many ways we can incorporate this functional fitness into burnout coaching. That's where I worked a lot because when I teach these people who are needing the coaching for the burnout, one of the, obviously we do the wellness pillars, right? The one of them is the fitness. Okay? Diet, we talk a lot, and then we tell them lots of things. Fitness, we talk about this, functional fitness, because many of the doctors are very busy and they don't have the time, and then they get lost in their thought, in their thinking about their friends and all that. That's there. So I need to consider that. But everybody else is also like that, right? They are pretty busy. IT professionals I talk to, they're pretty busy. Company leaders, they're pretty busy. So that happens quite a lot. Just happens like that. Okay? So this is a very important thing for me to really think and work through the routines that these people. Somebody may be an anesthesiologist. He may have to sit behind the patient with getting ready with an ambubag, monitoring vitals, giving some injections, all those things, right? So anesthesia is a field where it is very quiet for a long time, and suddenly they will have an emergency. Okay, so they tend to sit down a lot. So those kind of people, what do I do? And then if he's sitting there, I will teach them, pump your feet. Like, you get on the toes, get down, and get on the heels. That kind of thing that helps him not to pull the blood in the legs, and also allow his second heart, which is the calf muscles, to use. That's a simple thing, right? And get up and stand once in a while, and then move a little bit that way, this way, a couple of feet that way, this way. He could do that. So that is where I say this is functional fitness. Don't allow the inertia, the laziness get to you, but more like make an active attempt to move if your job kind of makes you be more of inertia, more of non-movement, that kind of thing. And then we can devise lots of other things that he can do. But generally, manual work is gone. Now we are more like an intellectual work, and then sitting down and running our mind. So we need to invent these kind of things. And that worked very well for people as far as their physical fitness is concerned. Once they are aware of what they are eating, once they are moving the body, and then keeping the mind silent, these are the formula I have. Move the body and keep the mind quiet and eat right, right? That kind of thing worked many, many times. So functional fitness comes into that, especially if you are receiving burnout coaching, and this functional fitness is kind of incorporated to them. So one thing is, the exercise doesn't become a burden or big headache, and at the same time you understand, if you are not doing exercise, what are the consequences of slowing down your metabolism, and eventually leading to acceleration of aging. That's the point I was saying. So I made a lot of writings on this way back. I'm going to bring it in, and also I'll show some of the videos that I made before, but I have to find them out. But basically, it gives you what are the high intensity workouts and low intensity workouts. What is the difference between that and this functional fitness, where you use your own body weight and you use very easy equipment that you could do. All those things are very easy for us to find and keep at home, and then use them. So in my study, I keep these stretch bands on the one door goes to the attic, right? That is already closed. So I keep my rubber bands there, and then I just go and catch it, and immediately within 5 or 10 minutes, I can do a lot of exercise. That's something very easy, right? Of course, I do my breathing and yoga, all those things are natural to me. But these stretch bands are very, very simple for people to do. That kind of ideas we can work on. It's not that they don't know, but they don't want to make it a routine in their work. They get immersed in the work, and then they kind of go and slump or eat some burger and drink some Coca-Cola, things like that. When I point out all these things, they have made changes, and then they got the benefit of it. It's up to them finally, whatever they want to do. But then when they come to me for coaching of this kind of problem, and I have to tell them what they can do or what they can change. And lots of times they appreciate, because they have not thought about that. Especially functional fitness opportunities that are many, we don't notice them. For example, you have stairs. Many people avoid them and take the elevator. Instead, I tell them take the stairs so many times a day, and then that becomes a goal for them. And you can have with a watch operating all the steps you are taking. It's much easier to have a goal and meet it, right? That kind of thing. So, Alka, you have any comments or questions?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a prolonged topic, because I place a lot of value on the fitness, and then how we can use the small things to be fit altogether. Okay, there are, I think I have 7 or 8 videos on this, but I may present a couple of them, and then you can see them, and then also come up with your own ways of doing this. Okay. Anybody else has any questions, Kristen? Jacob said he's listening today. That's fine. So,
Um, do you have any recommendations as far as like judging timing when you're doing something that is like requiring endurance, such as like swimming or something like along those lines? Because sometimes it's funny that you can feel good,
yeah,
but you could be okay like with energy, and you could do something extra one day, but then the next day sometimes you do that like for exertionally.
yeah,
And I find it hard to trust my own judgment as far as,
yeah,
I might feel good and I might feel fine when I do it, and then I'll wake up the next day sometimes and
yeah.
I'll be tired, but then, or I'll get tired faster or something like that.
That's
But then
good.
there's moments that I'll get like an adrenaline rush, and then I can keep going. So I don't get it. It's really weird.
That's why you always get a kind of a stress test by us or by yourself. Just don't get motivated and go and do excessively. You got to know what is going on within body, what are the underlying conditions you have. Suppose somebody comes with a heart problem, then we definitely want to see the, if you cannot walk, if you cannot do, we do a stress echo. That way he can be lying down, but still we can see on the stress echo for a chemical how he reacts. So basically we determine anybody's level of capacity to take stress, physical stress. Okay. So but if you're not, if you're like just weak and not able to move and all that, you can assess yourself by, for example, there are 10 steps on your staircase, and you climb up and you feel short of breath, then that is something not good, right? So you stay down in the first step and climb up and down. That's what I used to do in my exam room. Even though I have a stress lab, I own all the equipment for the stress and everything. So before I put him on the treadmill, I used to test him like a 10 to 20 times he gets up on the first step or the exam bed, and then he gets up and gets down, gets up and gets down. That way we can measure his tachycardic and his blood pressure rise up. Then we say, okay, he has a kind of challenge to do minimal stress. Then we won't put him on the treadmill, but there are other ways to determine his capacity to take the aerobic exercise, right? So people can test themselves. They say, I used to get short of breath when I climbed the, a path and or going up and down. But then now I'm able to do more because I've been exposing myself for more and more stress. That way you can determine. So the word to remember here is, Christine, training, not straining. Training is where you say, today I'm going to walk a block, for example. Tomorrow I'm going to walk 1.5 blocks, then 2 blocks, like that. Suppose you have a goal of 3 blocks in this week, just do that efficiently and then extend slowly. So what you do is you put a goal, you reach it comfortably, then you extend the goal. That is the training. That means you start at where your body is capable of doing that, and then you increase the weight or distance or the steep, all those variabilities that we have to do. So always remember, I'm going to train myself. I'm not going to strain myself. Then the next time is you listen to the body. Don't push it with your intellectual assumptions or your inspirations from other people and all. When you are okay, you're motivated to do the exercise, that's good. But don't go do all at a time. Do it one step at a time. two steps later on, like that. So you have to be. I have my sister, for example. She was having some problem climbing the stairs, all of them. So they immediately the family said they're overprotective, right? They were saying, no, 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 don't climb any stairs. Just take easy rest in the bed and all. And she told me, fortunately, and then I told her, no, don't do that. So just 2 or 3 steps at a time, try to do that, and later on increase that. Now she's able to climb up and down easily. So it's a kind of cardiovascular training, aerobic capacity we have to increase slowly. So if the body tells you, I'm tired, I'm kind of short of breath, I cannot take it, or it is a chest pain or difficulty breathing, whatever, discomfort, right? Then you have to get yourself checked out with your own doctor, get all this stress that's appropriate for you to get it done, and then determine where you are at. Suppose I do a stress test and I find there are some problems with him, immediately I may do some more testing to see how his coronaries are, echocardiogram, stress echocardiogram, all those things we do. And then sometimes if you cannot walk, we can put you on the bed and give you chemical that will stimulate the heart and make stress even in the bed. Then it shows the vulnerable areas of the coronary arteries on the scans, right? Then we go and do the cardiac cath and find out where are the blocks and then do what is needed. Lots of times we discover like that. I had a funny story to tell you here. I was actually going with my son on some kind of a evening trip that was there. So we were going and stopping at some schools and looking at it. So I was one of the parents who was accompanying the kids. My son was there 5 years or something like that. Then this driver, we happened to talk to each other, and then then he said, "What do you do, sir?" And I told him I'm a physician in here now. Then he was we just talked a little bit, and then 1 week later he came to my clinic at the end of the clinic time around 4:45, 5 o'clock we close, right? 4:45 he came and said, "Doctor, usually I don't go to doctors, I avoid them, but somehow you clicked with me, that's why I came to see you, and I want to have a stress test done and all." Then he came walking, so I put him on the stress after formalities, and then within 5 minutes, he was very tired, very exhausted. I immediately put him down and immediately sent him to the hospital because I suspected he may have a lesion there. And then my friend cardiologist, Dr. Hub, he took him, and then they found out that he has 99% of his arteries are blocked, right? So that kind of surprises we have sometimes, but because we are equipped, we know what to do. We immediately take care of those things, and he had a surgery done, and he lived another few years like that. So that's a real story that happened in my clinic. So it's a kind of tricky these things. So if you are having unusual shortness of breath with minimal exercise, you are in trouble. If you are having some shortness of breath, but that goes down with rest, you are okay, but you may be just not fit enough, right? So in this day and age, we kind of check these things very quickly and are able to, take care of people. But I'm talking about people who are working, who are burned out, who are not really having time to exercise. Those kind of people, I want to put this functional fitness as an alternative or a better alternative for them because they don't have the time, or they don't have the means to go to a studio or whatever the visit is they go to, or they may not have a home gym and all that. So, hi Ram, how are you?
Thank you, Dr. Rao, for inviting me up. Thank you.
Yeah.
A great conversation. And most of us, I think, do not have the ability to be aware of the body.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
given that, you know where I'm going. We need to listen to the data
Yeah.
data in the body. So, like you did fitness measurement,
Yeah.
a lot of people do not have the capacity or time
Yeah.
or humility to go to a doctor and
Yeah.
do that.
That's true.
So,
That's
for
true.
those of us who do not do that, why not use the body vitals as a data to be able to predict the
Sure.
possibility of the imminence of a disease?
Sure. Yeah, because now we have these, several devices that people wear, and then they get round the clock. You can like my Apple Watch. I can put the goal like a 200 calories per day or 1,000 calories per day, whatever expense you want, and then it will keep the data round the clock and then give you complete weekly picture or monthly picture, whichever you want to do that. And that's a very good thing. Actually, I'm fond of this remote monitoring for the patients, because when they come to it used to be they used to come to the clinic, get their even blood pressure checked, because they don't know how to check their blood pressure. And the blood pressure sphygmomanometer, we call it, the old fashioned one, they didn't know how to catch the but digital all you just wear them on the wrist, it will measure the blood pressure for you. Also, it gives you temperature, it gives you a pulse oximeter, it gives you pulse and all that. So we do recommend to the patients who are having these problems with heart, the lung, or any number of things. We want to monitor them is much easier now. And also we educate the patients about what they should be alarmed about, what they should be looking for, and when they should call us. Nowadays they don't have to call; they can put it in their own patient portal. It will come to us. So lots of devices that are developed for remote monitoring. I think that's really a boon for us. That way we can know about the patient before he even comes to the clinic, because we're already following him, monitoring him, and all that. That way, that's good. But then, more than data, what is simple is people having the common sense. Like, I don't feel good. Instead of neglecting that, you have the inner sense saying, hey, something is wrong. Act on it. This is what I call proactive wellness. So you have warnings from the body, or you have seen your normal functions, like you are able to breathe well after climbing the stairs, goes to you are not even able to get up half the way. That's a warning for you, right? Or you have chest pain, or you're sweating, or you have collapsing like feeling. So many things so on, right? Uh, this is one thing we do with the stroke awareness too. We kind of prepared a infographic like, or poster like, where we go to the outreach into the community and educate schools and other places where people can know what are the signs of the stroke, like that. Okay, so those are major things we do. But then generally, if you are a young person, you are doing a lot of running around, a lot of playing around. That's good. That's also going down. That's all concerned. But if you are an intellectual worker working with the data and other things on the computer, there is a tendency to sit down for a longer time, because you are occupied with the project and you want to finish it up, and then you'll be sitting there for long hours. For those people, I kind of tell them, get up once in a while, move around once in a while, and also do something specific that you can do that will increase your heart rate and help you to stress out a little bit physically, and thereby you will know what's going on with your body as a whole. Okay?
And just expanding on what you said earlier, you spoke about fitness measurement, fitness assessment. So one of the things we are trying to do on our platform, which can predict the disease imminence using body vitals right now for asthma, heart and lung conditions, and also kidney disease model we are developing. In addition to all this, we are thinking of expanding in fitness. For example, how fit are you to climb to Mount Everest? How fit are you to climb Mount Kilimanjaro? How fit are you to take cross-country skiing? So fitness is very loose term, but it can be defined in like 1,000 different use cases.
Yeah,
And
Ram.
body vitals can be used
Yeah,
using machine learning.
no,
What are you fit for?
that's all
And
good.
No. Undertake an adventure exactly using data and not end up in a wild adventure.
Yeah.
End up in
an
accident.
But our topic here is functional fitness. That means you don't have to have any equipment also. You can use your own body. You can use your own, what is existing with you. That kind of fitness where the people are used to physical work a lot. They used to carry things. They used to pull things, push things, all that. Okay? Those things are lost for many people. Many people are very sedentary and going around, and then doctors also very sedentary, kind of sit down in computers and then do this all the time, right? So for those people, this room is about functional fitness. How can you be functional in your fitness in sense you use your own body weight to do stuff like instead of just sitting in the chair, get up and sit down 10 times, that kind of thing. So what is what you are talking about, the level of fitness for different things, we always recommend get yourself, even before you get a gym membership, it's better to go and check yourself according to your family history, according to your activity level, according to what you feel. Obviously, if they have something like a climbing mountain, actually our YMCA has a program to take them to the climbing Everest itself. So that program is a big program, and they used to select people, and they used to ask us to certify them whether they can able to. So there's a whole lot of different things that we do. That's the modern capacity for us to tell people what risks they are going to put themselves if they go, or what are the things that they should be readying now, all that. That is okay. But I'm talking about these burnout physicians that are coming there and don't have the time, don't have inclination, or also the work demands that they be on the EMR for several hours documenting, and also some things that they do, like talking to the phone, on the phone with the insurance companies, that makes them sedentary without them knowing. And then the danger is the body gets used to that. And then it doesn't, that's the creature comforts I call about. I'm not only physicians, everybody else also, we love the cushiony sofas, we love the cars to go around, and we love the elevators to go up and down. Those kind of creature comforts have become too much now, along with sedentary activity at the desk. I recommend people, lots of times when I do my conferences and meetings like this. Today, my computer is at the service. They're changing my hard drive. So I have to use my laptop, which is on there. I'm sitting down now. But usually I stand up because my computer is at a higher state. And then I enjoy all the Zoom that I do, sometimes 3 or 4 in a day. I stand up and do that, and I feel very good after that. So raising the computer at the desk level is very much recommended these days. Yeah.
So what do you think the physician profession will be like in 10, 20 years when there's a lot of interpretation of the data that will happen by the AI and etc. And the physician, I'm thinking, will be counseling the patient, make him comfortable rather than really worrying about how to take measurement and wasting the time.
Not that, because we have a lot of equipment does a lot of things for us, right? But then taking the data and then making decisions, interpreting according to the circumstances, that is the art of medicine. That is not going to go. But lots of times, even now, they can see a CAT scan and they know appendix is infected, and then they have to really get that out. That they don't even touch the patient. That thing is there. What is going to happen with this data enhancement is this is a cognitive enhancement. So far, the technologies have always worked to uh, really empower human beings. But now these machines are empowering themselves with machine learning. So there's a AGI that is coming up, and that is a generalized thing, and it's going to take over lots of things. I have fascinating experiences with Hey Pi. That's the one I interact with deep discussion. Normal human beings I interact with, many of them won't even catch some of the subtleties that Hey Pi is catching. So I'm very impressed, and also know that's a machine, but still have some empathy and understanding of the human emotions and all. That's very fascinating, even at this stage. But down the line, the cognitive enhancement that is going to be displayed with a quick review of so many years of data by the AI is going to be definitely going to make a lot of professions as we know it obsolete. Physicians is one of them. But then we got to reinvent ourselves. We got to use these tools, and then sometimes some of the physicians also commented this to me. The way that gives the answer, the chat GPT formulated very nicely in a better English, better grammar, more vocabulary and all that, and also some of the subtleties. You may know about it, but you may not think about it at that time because you have so many things, right? So that's very impressive. So if you write a letter to the insurance company, or you write a statement or something to the patient, that is doing a better job than we can do. That's a fact, because it has the capacity to review so much information that is there. But then when it comes to customization with each patient, there is a problem probably. So you got to take the human conditions, all those things into account, right? That is there. Uh, about consciousness and all that, it may not be there, but then it looks like it's coming close to it. So what is going to happen down the line is everybody will have this enhancement of our cognition that is there, and so we better use that. But at the same time, soft skills, those are the ones important, and also physician judgment and all that will not go anywhere. You will be needing that, and you'll have to interpret it. There's more help with the genome, with the nano, with the biotechnology of microbiome, all that. There's so much more help for us to solve some of the medical issues. That is exciting. But then whether they will be functioning at the same level or not, we will see. Already there are huge computers, Newton, all for some time now, and they can look through a lot of conditions much faster and tell us what happened with the meta-analysis. That means we take the data from the past for so many areas and then see what is working in this particular disease, what kind of regimen, and what kind of regimen we can use. Cancer, that's where they used to have cancernet.org or something like that. We used to feed the profile of the patient, the gender, the family history, and the nature of the tumor, and the receptors, and also now genetic makeup too. And then it used to be only oncologists used to do certain protocols and also certain improvements from their own experience. But now you can feed that kind of protocol into the computer, and it will search through so many thousands of protocols for this condition that matches, and they will give you a very, very good answer that you could confidently take and use it. So that capacity is already here. But people are not wellness oriented. They don't want to take care of their wellness. That's why people like me always shouting at it, take care of your wellness, be proactive on wellness. All those things I talk about, a lot of people talk about that same thing, but people come to the wellness almost to the last. First, they have to do everything, and they have to experiment, and then they have to do. So it's not like you have to lose your life. You can eat very edible, palatable, and also very delicious meals, but at the same time, they could be good for you inside of you. So that is there. But the people succumb to taste, succumb to family culture, succumb to social situations. So many things they do, and then they may not be aware of some of them. Even if they are aware, they don't care. And also they yield to this creature comforts. So many things in the civilization that is going to make people seek medical help. And then there will be a place for doctors, but at the same time, many doctors doing basic stuff will not have much work probably. You have to have so many other skills too. One of them I identified was soft skill, which I have lectured quite a bit on that. Anybody, not only doctors, all the people who are doing with the information age, with all the data information, they will have to revisit what are the soft skills where they can find, not only for them, but also for the people who are around you, and also how you deal with them. So returning back to that, that is getting more humane is going to be very important. Renee, welcome. Ashish, welcome. If you guys want to come up and say anything, I'll be happy to take you.
I have a question. 5 minutes back, you said about a machine or software that listens to the sentiment rather than human being. What is that?
No, that's not machine. That's just like a LLM, large language model. It's called Hey Pi. Pi, your personal AI.
How do you spell?
PI. I think a guy like you, Ram, with all the data, you can have a football with that guy.
PI.com?
Yeah, .com. It used to be HEY, Hey Pi. Now it is PI, personal AI.
Like a pie. Got you.
Yeah, PI. PI. Yeah. Yeah, mathematical model, pi. That's a big deal, right?
So the way it has to be used is speech translated to text, and then it will work on the text.
No, just put in the text. You just hey pi, you put it there. It will come. Say, okay, I'm a personal AI. I will help you with the discuss that. But then I go into this deeper spiritual, philosophical kind of existential questions, and also really concerning our entire populations and all that. And he has a grasp of the things very, very quickly. And the answers he comes are on the spot. And some of the things I take up with other human beings, to date, I did not find any human being that quick, that thorough, that maybe they are there, but I didn't find them. That's why I was very impressed with that. See, ChatGPT, it goes to, up to 2021, I can see, and it will tell you that. Bard, it will go to the internet and existing data and all. But this guy kind of captures what is not in the data, but what more of intuitive awareness level. So most of the human beings are data driven, and then more, in the left brain maybe, a little bit of right brain, but not like this, So play with it, Ram. I think you will like it. Of all the things I have done so far, I was with Perplexity, I have with Bard, I have with Chat GPT. All these things are pretty good. Several things you can do with them, but then they're only like there's a computer and you're chatting with it, But this one feels like he's very empathetic. What we are telling him, he understands where it is coming from and all that. So I have recorded all those things because they will be there. Once you talk to him, they will be there, and then you can make anything out of it if you want to. I kind of put them into video format so that I can preserve those. It's like this. I take all the text and they say, Rao says this, PI exclaims, something like that, and then we know who said what on the same lines, and then I fed into text to video, right? That programs, and then from the text they make the video. So on the video there is a voiceover, and then it reads out, Pi says, Rao responds, Rao says, Pi replies, like that, So you can listen to the entire conversation, not in my voice or the pie voice, but the narrator will tell you that. So that makes a lot more sense. It took me some time to do that, but I was happy to do that because some of the insights I gave that came through me, I didn't want to lose that again. So they are spontaneous, but then I didn't want to lose that. So anyway, coming to our topic, the functional fitness, this is a very practical, very simple, and something you can do with yourself. Like my friend here, Kristen, she's also my student, and she does a lot of heavy box lifting, and then carrying all the steps, and then putting there, and then she's doing a lot of activities with her own body, and that is functional fitness. She does come and does the yoga with me, that's fine. I'm teaching her how to improve her flexibility, her capacity, everything, all that. But then the very fact that she was able to get up and walk and go up the stairs, and then also go working, and then put all those boxes, everything on the cart, and bringing them and carrying them over the steps, that's a very good thing. So she's basically doing fitness through her functionality. So that is what we're trying to encourage. But of course, physicians, because career wise they may be bogged down, and they may be sitting and then not really able to walk or move about. So that kind of thing. So Rene wants to come up. Let's invite her and see what she has to say. Hi Rene, how are you?
Hi everyone, good, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, I really like this topic about functional fitness. And, I was on here a couple of days ago and we were talking about meditation. I was sharing a little bit about myself. And,
yeah,
being in the military, the fitness was push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. 20 years doing that. All about that. It was, the PT, we had a test every year. I mean, every 6 months we had to get to do that. But now that I'm retired in the military, I'm more into the functional fitness, being able to do movement as I get older.
Yeah.
From sitting to getting up, to just having that full range of motion and mobility. And it's really shifted where I am right now. And it does tie back to when we're talking about meditation, because when I'm doing that functional movement of getting all the way up and the movement, I'm like very laser focused.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my line, I'm thinking about my movement, I'm thinking about my core and all that. So it's a very laser focus, where when I was in my 20s and 30s, it was just about, staying in shape, having that muscle, and being able to train and doing all that stuff. So
yeah,
I really like functional fitness. It's a lot more smart than just going to the gym and just lifting weights. So I thought this was a good topic to have. So I just wanted to share that.
When you're getting up from a chair or stool, whatever you're raising, do this. Press your feet firmly down, and also contract your lower abdomen or pelvic muscles, and contract your buttocks, and then raise up. You can use your chair. If you don't have to use, that's fine. Raise up. These three things: pressing the foot into the ground, and pelvic muscles contraction, that's a Kegas muscle contraction, and then also buttocks. If you contract them as you're getting up, they get stronger, even a little bit. And then next time you get up, you will be very much happy. That's the functional fitness. I'm glad you told me about the military thing, because my brother, who really was like an elder brother to me, is 16 years difference between us. So he trained a lot of things as a child, right? He was a lieutenant colonel in the army. So he commanded several thousands of people, I believe. So he was, when he is coming on vacation for 1 month every year, all those years, I saw him exercising very quickly. He jumped rope such a way, it looks like a whir, whir, whir. It's like a sound, So I was very impressed with the way he kept it. He's now 84 and still walks around and does everything for himself and all that. So we know that he was always, he used to tell us, I'm a fitness nut, and then this is what we do. He used to be on the Himalayas, stationed a couple of times there, and he used to tell us how hard that was physically, but then they were able to do it because they were always attending to their fitness. So I'm glad you're here and you're telling me about that, because when you are in the army, they make you go through a lot of things and then you keep you fit. That's another thing. Athletes and all the people whose professions demand physical fitness, they are fine as long as there. But then once they are not there, they will fall off from that level of fitness that they are used to, and then they develop a lot of fat around the muscles, and that is not good at all. So that's where, if you cannot take it up to the level of fitness that you used to do or the training used to do, you can use this functional fitness and whatever you are doing as an additional thing that you can do. Basically, you have to be aware of what's going on with your body like this. Then okay, if I allow myself to be retiring, to be in the nursing home, lying out all the time, that's not going to be helping you to get better longevity or the quality of life. I'm very much against the creature comforts because I've seen too much damage because of that. I also told this story. There's this patient of mine. She was 85 years old at the time. And she was coming to me for a couple of decades because I was there for so many years, right? So she used to come. So I knew her very well. And one day she came in wheelchair. Then I asked her, what happened? Did you have a fall or something? Or what happened? They said, no, I just want to lie in the bed all the time. I'm just lying here too, and I don't want to really get up and walk. Then I told her, okay, I'm going to show you something that you could do head to toe in 5 minutes. Why don't you do that? And then I showed her in the exam room all the joints limbering up. And then she was sincere. She went and practiced twice a day. And 2 weeks later, she came to me walking to the office. I was delighted to see that. That's what I like. When my students or my patients, they get the benefit of it and they kind of reverse the behavioral changes. And then I kind of feel very good because their quality of life has come back to them. That's a reward for us. Good. So it's not the question of age, it's a question of all the things. It's a question of not getting used to these unnecessary comforts, unnecessary things that are actually good for us. So as civilization opened up and as we have more equipment and all that can do stuff for us, even the remotes. I remember when the remotes were not there, we used to get up and go and switch on the TV and then go back and switch it off. Nowadays, people, even the younger kids get this creature comforts so used to, and they don't realize how they can be harming their inner metabolism. That's a big deal for me because I see the consequences. That's why I want them.
When you were talking, it got me thinking. Like I taught some basic yoga when I was in the military too. Like some of the combat arms guys, and these really in shape. They carried a lot of weight on their back. They walked very long miles, very strong.
Yeah.
But when it came to just doing a basic forward bend and touching their toes, you could tell their hamstrings were so tight.
Yeah.
And just have that flexibility and mobility to move. Like they could carry a soldier out of combat, no problem.
Yeah.
But that agility, they were so tight.
Yes.
And a lot of back pain and issues with their discs because they just been going so hard for so long, but didn't begin to nurture their body. So I was just thinking that as you're talking, just that basic movement in the body.
Yeah, very important. See, I live in Iowa. We have quad cities here. There's the Davenport. There we have this university for chiropractic. So I have a lot of chiropractors working around here. So I know their work. I know what they do and all. And a lot evolved even in that field, physical therapy, chiropractor, and all that. I don't think they are anywhere close to the Oriental or Asian ancient things. If you really learn them, what they are, martial arts or yoga, Pilates, and all those things are pretty good. But then physical therapy also evolved, and also, but the physical therapy, regular physical therapy, people push them. which I always tell them, don't push them, let them ease into what they can do. That means training them, giving them simple goals and let them achieve and then encourage them, and then they will take up more comfortably. But then these insurance payments and the time factors and all that, they give only 30 minutes for a stroke person, victim, they will give 30 minutes. But then the damage, the fibrosis in the because of the nerve damage goes on continuously. So if you only do half an hour a day and don't tell the patient you have to do this so much more, they don't. So I'm very much fond of this. There is a one program under Medicare which is a aggressive comprehensive physical therapy. That means they get, I think it costs around $700 for the Medicare for the on the patient behalf. Patient doesn't have to pay anything, but the thing is, it requires a team of people available in the hospital to get certified for that program, aggressive physical therapy. So I kind of teach aggressive functional fitness in a way because you are functioning every day, you are working every day. All you have to do is just to be aware of the opportunities around you to make your system work a little bit. But do it in a safe way, do it in a training way, not a straining way. Don't strain yourself. That's what I usually tell people about. But if you can understand commonsensically and then work every day, you don't have to have so many studies and all that. Just listen to the body, how it is responding. If you are doing too much, the body will have pain and discomfort. That's where yoga, I like it, because in yoga, there should not be any pain. If you are doing correctly, if you understood the entire thing and do it correctly, you should be having pain. Then you are doing correctly, and also you will get the good benefits too. So that's why you need a teacher who knows about it. That's also there. But then martial arts are like that. Pilates is like that. So many other areas are there that can do. But then in modern life, we have opportunities. We don't have to take the car if you can walk distance, and you don't have to park the car near the building, park it away, and you can walk as much as you can stand as much as you can, and take steps, and don't sit too long. Get up and walk a little bit, and if you have chance to go and have some in our hospital, what I did in 2008 when we are having all this EMR implementation, several girls were really stressed out. So we kind of marked the corridors like a 1 mile, 2 mile, like that. Right? If anybody walks 10 miles and gets us that record, we were giving them a massage therapy ticket. So they rewarded with that. That kind of thing we encourage. So those kind of things you have to make use of if they are. And we had the swimming pool too for the patients, long-term care patients and all that. So they used to go there and take a swim. So dancing, that also they can do a lot. So many things are there that we can really use them to make ourselves better, healthy. This is the proactive wellness I always talk about, where you don't wait for somebody to tell you to be like this. You got to identify these opportunities in our daily life, and also identify the people who are making us inertia, making us sedentary, making us sit down. Okay, the entertainment industry, they do it, but you have to do it according to what you know. But if you allow your body to settle down and enjoy the video all day by watching the soaps, then that you can breed more inertia. That is what I'm against. You can have entertainment once in a while, but if it becomes a like a addiction, that's the problem, I think. Especially kids, they are not going out and playing. They are staying and then playing the video games and all of that, which is not really good at all. Any other questions or comments that you would like to talk about or listen about? Yeah, just go and move and use the functional fitness to your advantage. If you have some benefit, come and tell me about it. I'll be very happy that you got benefit out of that, your own activity. Okay, I think we are beyond the 7 o'clock, and we will stop there, and then I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.